What up? Yes. Okay. Yes. And he's here. Hello. Chat does work. So, oh, never mind. Darn it. No, no. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Let's actually go. I gotta, hold on. Gotta screen share. Boom. Actually, let's just do the entire screen. Alright. So, I might not be able to see your comments because I'm gonna be watching it like this. Well, actually, no. I could watch it through my own stream, but like kind of laggy like that, so I don't think I'm gonna do it like that. This is gonna be exciting. You know, there is something that I do have planned. I already made a video. Brought in a video, but I'm gonna try to figure out how much to make in the board games. Maximum amount of money you can make. And also I'm gonna calculate the probability of those. So yeah. Alright. Here we go. Alright. Here we go. Woohoo.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to the
right
Uno Amalgam series. The series where I try to combine every version of Uno known to man into one stupid mess.
Probably my story.
This episode is the sports episode. The episode with the sports.
That's being used a lot.
Gee, I sure do know a lot about sports. The players, the teams, the sports. I even have a favorite team. Definitely. I get so upset when they lose, I break my flat screen TV. And I also know how to play football. I haven't gone my whole life without learning how to play it. I don't know why you'd think that. Never once in the history of this channel have I ever mispronounced a name of a sports team. I'm just that knowledgeable on the topic. So yeah, sports-themed Uno versions episode. Before I get this ball rolling, I gotta do some clarifying.
Ooh.
Please subscribe and like the video so this series gets recommended to more and more people. We need all the help we can get to hunt for that Uno lost meat.
I can probably put it up.
It's clarification time. Those of you that have been following this now 17 episode long series may have noticed a distinct lack of cameo games in recent episodes. For those that don't know, cameo games are games that aren't Uno that have made it into the Uno Amalgam. There are a couple reasons for their recent lack of appearances. For one, there are just so many Uno versions to cover still, and they're taking priority over cameo games. This is the Uno Amalgam after all. Secondly, there have been a lot of cameo suggestions that don't really meet my admittedly loose requirements for what makes it into the Amalgam. I haven't really talked about what makes any given game viable for a cameo in the past, so for this clarification time, I thought I'd go over the list and then cover a few games that don't really qualify as cameos in my mind. So without further ado, here's my cameo list requirement, not quite required things. The cameo must be published by Mattel. The From the Creators of Uno advertising technique appears. The Uno art style is used. The game is in the card-shedding genre. The game has mechanics that are taken directly from Uno. The game has at least one mechanic that could technically fit into the Amalgam. The game uses colored cards and or
That's cool.
numbers. Now, it should be noted that cameos don't need to meet all of these requirements, except for the first one. They need to be published by Mattel or whatever came before it. That's like the one solid requirement. Basically, the more requirements any given game meets, the more likely they are to qualify. But in the end, it is my decision, and I'm judging every cameo on a case-by-case basis. Looking back at previous cameo games, essentially all versions of DOS meet every single one of these requirements. The only requirement Ono 99 misses is the card shedding genre, so that's another easy inclusion. I should also note the Ono 99's inclusion of reverses is the type of mechanics I'm referring to when I'm saying the game takes mechanics or the idea of those mechanics from Uno. Skip-Bo admittedly is one of the shakier ones because it doesn't use the Uno art style, and unless you count Skip-Bo cards as a representation of wild cards, which they kind of are, but that's up for debate, then it also misses out on including game mechanics from Uno. Boom-O is another one that misses two of the requirements, those being the genre and the art style, but everything else fits well, and the live system of Boom-O is one of those crucial additions that prevents players from being instantly eliminated by specific cards, so I think its inclusion is more than valid. Luck Plus is missing the art style and mechanics directly from Uno, but still, that's just two, so it's worthy of inclusion in my mind. So those are the old cameo games, but what about other cameo games that people have suggested in the comments and in the Discord server?
I don't know why it turned off.
Are they really viable? Let's find out.
I do not know why it turned
Starting
off.
out with one of the popular requests, Blink. Blink doesn't have the Uno art style, doesn't have game mechanics taken directly from Uno, and notably ditches numbered and colored cards for colored symbols. Blink is a really basic game, and there's really only one mechanic at play, that mechanic being, there are no turns and you just play cards to match as quickly as possible and try to get rid of all of your cards. For obvious reasons, that won't really gel well with the Amalgam, so Blink is getting excluded. Next is Bold. Bold does not use the Uno art style, isn't in the same genre as Uno, doesn't really have any special mechanics taken from Uno, and while it does have colors, it doesn't have numbers. Bold is just missing too much to be included, so it's excluded. The Dukes of Hazzard card game is just nothing like Uno, really. No Uno art style, not the same genre, no mechanics from Uno. The game doesn't really use colors, and the numbers that it uses play into the mechanics of that game specifically. It's just not a good fit at all. Excluded. Slapjack. Different art style, different genre, no mechanics from Uno, nope. Five Alive is actually a more interesting case. It seems like Hasbro has acquired the rights to the game, or maybe nobody owns the rights and it's just a public use name, who knows, I don't really care. But Hasbro has published the most recent version of Five Alive. Does this exclude it? Not really. Mattel definitely has their own version from way back. Surprisingly, this one does qualify. It only misses in the art and genre categories, so maybe it will appear in a future episode, but as I said, cameos are not priority additions. Next is Baja. So this one doesn't have the art style, the genre, or direct mechanics from Uno, so it's excluded. Simple. Catchword. What even is this thing? Just because the game has the from the makers of Uno thing does not mean the game qualifies. That is only one of many preferred aspects any game should have. Different art style, different genre, no mechanics from Uno. I don't really know what I would add or how I would add it because of how different the game is, and there's no colors or numbers. Excluded. Color Bunch. I can barely find any information about this one. Different art, no mechanics from Uno. Don't know what I would add because it's so basic, and the game doesn't even have numbers. Excluded. Grabbits. Different art style and genre, no mechanics from Uno, and no numbers. Excluded. Gremlins card game. Different art and genre, no colors or numbers. Really weird. Excluded. Caboodle. Different art and genre, no numbers, no real mechanics from Uno. Nope. I don't really know what land race is, but I couldn't find any info on it, so no. I can't find any information on Letter Ladder either, so nope. Lowdown, different art,
I'm
different
missing, I don't
genre,
know what
no
happened
mechanics
about
from
that.
Uno, nope. Mad Grab, nope. Quitch, couldn't find anything. Rage, nope. SeaWorld Fish card game, literally just go fish, nope. Snappy Dressers, nope. Snorks, couldn't find anything. Stun, nope. Sting, nope. Space Rockets, couldn't find anything. Trumpet, what? Top that, huh? Whack-a-mole, weh? Vantage, wha? Angry Birds card game, funny but probably not. Sadly, even Cinco does not qualify. As you can see, there really aren't going to be many cameo games in the future, so sorry if you were expecting more. That being said, more cameos aren't an impossibility. Like I said, Five Alive is eligible, and I'm willing to consider more if they're
Yay.
found. Alright, I've talked enough about cameo games. Let's get into the additions for this episode. Clarification time over. Hey, do you want to see a cool trick? There was a set of Uno Sports versions that all had the same special wild card, and if I add any one of them, I get to eliminate the rest. So let's just pick a random one. How about Uno New York Giants 2006? This will
Okay.
be edition 191. The
Ooh.
card in question is the acquisition card.
Ooh.
It's quite simple mechanically. When you play this card, choose any other card in the game out loud. If another player happens to have that card in their hand when you call it out, they are forced to trade that card with you for any card in your hand. Your choice. A fun card, no doubt, but the real fun comes from the eliminations this allows for. Allow me to list every Uno version with an identical mechanic to this one. Uno Pittsburgh Steelers 2007. Uno St. Louis Cardinals 2005. Uno Green Bay Packers 2006. Uno New England Patriots 2007. Uno Chicago Bears 2007. Uno New York Jets 2006. Uno New York Mets 2005. Uno Texas Rangers 2005.
Man, that's a lot.
Uno Los Angeles Angels 2005.
No, that is a
Uno
lot.
Philadelphia Phillies 2005. Uno Boston Red Sox 2005. Uno New York Yankees 2005. Uno Chicago Cubs 2004. Uno Florida Gators 2007. There may even be more, but I don't know.
14, wow.
That's another 14 eliminations for one mechanic.
Oh,
What a
that's
deal.
crazy.
Almost as good as the deals you'll be making with this mechanic.
Very funny.
Really weird that these effects even transcend sports with their name and effect, but I'm not complaining. Hey, let's do that same thing again. It's really efficient. Edition 192, the Uno NBA All-Stars Western Conference. This one has the Wild Champs card. When this card is played against you, you must draw cards until you get a 4-number card or until you draw 7 total cards from this effect, whichever comes first. Not too special, honestly, but it does provide us with some more eliminations. Here's another small list. Uno NBA All-Stars Eastern Conference, Uno NFL AFC, and Uno NFL NFC. Eliminated. So without even trying very hard, we've covered 19 Uno versions so far. That's a good feeling. Hey, let's make that an even 20 with the next edition. Edition 193 is Uno MLB Stars of the American
Weird how
League.
these are packed.
This one has the Wild Top 2 card. When you play this card, the 2 players with the lowest card counts must draw 1 card. If the player who played the card is one of the players with the lowest card count, they get to draw a card and give it to another player of their choice. Oh hey wait, with the inclusion of this version, we can also eliminate Uno MLB Stars of the National League. I guess that's actually 21 versions covered with only 3 editions.
Wow.
I could end the video right here, but that would be pretty lame, huh? We have a few more sports versions to cover, don't worry. At this point, I'm just going to randomly choose versions so I don't have to pretend there's any structure in this video. The pile of Uno sports decks is big and unruly. Edition 194, Uno Fandom Super Bowl 58 Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, let's talk about the Fandom sports decks right now. Very recently, Mattel revealed several Uno Fandom decks based around football. They haven't
Ooh.
been released as of me writing this, so if the unique mechanics of these versions happen to be slightly different than what I'm describing once they're released, let me know and I'll alter the rules doc.
Nice.
In general, we have a pretty good idea of what these cards do, though,
Oh,
because of the Mattel
okay.
Creations live stream, the box descriptions, and Mattel support. This one has the Wild Touchdown card. When you play this card, all
I'm
players
not really
must
talking
signal
much.
a touchdown with their arms. The last player to do so must draw 3 cards. Funny minigame is funny, but
That's
let's
pretty
talk
funny.
about some real substantial additions now. Edition
Ooh.
195, Uno Fandom NFL Pittsburgh Steelers. The real reason these Uno Fandom decks are significant is not because of the wild cards that come with them. It's actually because they all add new numbers to the game. The new numbers are all based on player jersey numbers from the team in question. Numbers are numbers, though, so each new number will be getting placed on each color once, for a total of 5 new physical cards being added per number. Here are the new numbers from this deck: 39, 73, 88, 90, and 97.
Well, that's cool.
So that's 5 new numbers, 25 new physical cards total. And on top of that, this one also has a unique wild card, the Wild Steel Curtain card. When another player plays a card that would force you to draw multiple cards, play this card out of turn to nullify that effect. Then you get to choose a color, and that player must draw cards until they get a card of that color. Wow, a super powerful nullifying card, that's for sure. Wild Card Slap. Edition 196 is Uno Fandom NFL San Francisco 49ers. Once again, we have more new numbers, including 44, 54, and 85. There's also the Wild Backup card. When you play this card, choose a card from your hand and place it in front of you. This card is reserved as your backup card. From that point on, whenever you would be forced to draw cards, you can choose to discard your reserved backup card instead of drawing. Yay, more defense cards! Edition 197 is Uno Fandom NFL Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, do you want more numbers? Because this set has 35, 55, 62, 91, and there's a new wild card, the Fly Eagles Fly card. When you play this card, you must flap your arms and screech like an eagle and dance as hard as Jason Kelsey. You know, that one football player totally know about. And your performance forces everyone to draw one card. Super gimmicky, obviously, but that's the fun of versions like these. Edition 198, Uno Fandom NFL Dallas Cowboys. The new numbers of this version are 70 and 87. The unique wild card of this version is the Hail Mary card, and I gotta say, not only is it unique, but it's also challenging to use and potentially mega powerful. If another player has only one card left in their hand, you can play this card. Take a guess at the color of the player's last card. If you're right, you discard all of your cards except for one on top of the Hail Mary card without triggering effects. What a powerful move. Imagine pulling this off. Edition 199, Uno Fandom NFL New England Patriots. More new number time. 36, 38, 60, and 80 have been added. The unique wild card is the Wild Lead Block card. You can play this card out of turn if necessary to nullify any effects that would skip your turn. Simple. But once again, defensive cards are always welcome. Haha, just like in football, because in football you play defense. Nailed it. And for the big edition 200, we have Uno Fandom NFL Kansas City Chiefs. The new numbers are 52 and 95. And the final unique wild card of the Uno Fandom NFL series is the Wild Arrowhead Loud card. When you play this card, shout out a color. And if the next player doesn't have a card in their hand that matches that color, they must draw a card and skip their turn. With all of the new numbers of this version combined, exactly 100 more physical cards have been added to the game. For those of you that think the wild to non-wild ratio will favor wild cards, take that. For those of you that are concerned about card count and price, don't worry, I have plans, and I still want this game to be $100 or less. but I likely won't talk about those plans
I would
until I'm
pay
out
like
of the combining phase of this
$150 at
project.
max for this
All
game.
those wilds are getting wild card slaps as well. Anyway, now that we're done with the
Yeah.
fandom sports versions, let's
much
get
would
back
you
to some
pay?
older versions. Edition
There you go.
201,
How much would you
Uno
pay for it
Arsenal
at max?
Highbury
Just
Legends.
for like
This
the
one actually
first
has
one.
2 exclusive mechanics.
Ooh.
To my knowledge, they're both named the same thing, the 3-point suspension card, but they're different, and that's what really matters here. The color-exclusive red 3-point suspension card is the more powerful of the two. When you play this card, choose another player. That player is completely removed from the game for 3 of their turns. What this means is that that player's next 3 turns are skipped,
Wow.
but they're also immune to all effects that would normally be played against them during that
Interesting.
time.
That's
A real
cool.
survivor safety without power moment. The yellow color exclusive 3-point suspension is a bit weaker. It's just a targeted skip. Play this card, choose a player, their next turn is skipped. Edition 202, Uno New York Mets David Wright. When you play the wild Hot Corner card, you get to discard all 5 number cards from your hand in any order without triggering the top of the Hot Corner card. Wild card slap. Edition 203, Uno NFL New England Patriots Special Edition 2005. When you play the wild Dynasty card, choose another player.
Okay.
That player must draw cards until they draw a 3-number card or until they've drawn 4 total cards, whichever comes first.
Alright.
If the chosen player draws a 3-number card, they must play it on top of the Dynasty card immediately without triggering effects. Sports joke, wild card slap. Edition 204, Uno NBA Kobe Bryant Special Edition 2007.
Ooh.
When you play the wild 3-pointer card, choose a player. That player must draw cards until they get a 1, 2, or 3 number card. That's all. As I've said in the past, this genre of mechanic is one of the most common in all of Uno history, so I'm kind of numb to them at this point. Wild card slap. Edition 205, Uno Cricket India 2021. This one has 2 unique wild cards that are both getting wild card slaps. The first is the wild draw 4 out of 6, or 4 over 6, or 4/6, however you want to read it. This card is just a regular draw 4, but if you play it on top of any card that has the wild symbol, it becomes a draw 6 instead. What a fun little synergy.
Cool.
The next one is the wild bouncer card. It's really similar to the arrowhead allowed card. When you play this card, choose a color. Then the next player must play a card of the chosen color on top of this card without triggering effects.
Exactly.
If they can't, they must draw a card and skip their turn. Let's talk about some less traditional sports for these last few. Edition 206, Uno WWE Legends Special Edition 2006.
WWE?
Yes,
crazy.
I'm counting WWE as a sport. Look how strong these people have to be for it.
It's technically
This one
a
has
sport,
the
I guess.
wild 1, 2, 3 card. This card is actually exactly the same as the wild 3-pointer card, with the key difference being once the player you choose draws 1, 2, or 3, they must place it on top of the 1, 2, 3 card without triggering effects.
Oh, so that's
Wild card slap.
because it's just a
Speaking of
different card, I guess.
WWE, Edition 207, Uno WWE 2017. This one has the wild locked up card. This is yet another interpretation of the war or battle mechanic. When you play this card, choose a player. Both you and the other player must lay down a card face up at the same time. The player with the higher number wins the battle. Non-number symbols and whatnot don't have any value, remember. The loser of the battle must take both cards that were used in the battle and add them to their hand. If there is a tie, both players take the card they played and place it back into the hand. Wild card slap. How about one more WWE version? Edition 208, Uno WWE 2010. This one has the wild Royal Rumble card. When you play this card, choose a color. All other players must race to place a card of the chosen color in front of themselves. Wilds don't count. Whoever was the fastest gets to discard the card they used for this effect on top of the Royal Rumble card without triggering effects. All other players must return the card they used, if any, to their hand. Wild card slap.
That's cool.
There are so many warlike mechanics in this game, I can't wait to apply broad terminology to them so the cards aren't absolutely covered in text. Edition 209, Uno NASCAR 2005. Yes, this is also a sport. Look how much training these people have to go through for it. When you play the wild drafting card, choose a color. You then get to discard 2 cards of that color on top of the drafting card without triggering effects. This card, as well as the cards discarded by it, can in fact be the last card in your hand. Pretty strong card, honestly.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those finishing move cards to end the game on. Wild Card Slap. For the final edition of this episode, I chose a larger entry. Edition 210, Uno X Games. Yes, this is a sport. For whatever reason, this particular version of Uno has way more thought put into it than most others. Even the logo got redesigned. This version actually included 8 total extra mechanics, which is so awesome. Mattel does not do things like this anymore.
Actually crazy.
Lucky me, though, a few of these mechanics are already represented in the Amalgam, so I don't need to cover all of them. There's still plenty to represent this version without the exclusions. The theme of these new mechanics are mechanic combos. First, we have the tail whip symbol, which is effectively a targeted draw 2, but this time it's getting placed on each color once. Next is the lip slide symbol, which is a combination of a skip and a draw 2. When you play this card, skip the next player, and the new next player must draw 2. This one is also getting placed on each color once. Next is the alley-oop symbol, which allows you to reverse the turn order and then discard all cards in your hand that match the color of the alley-oop card.
That's cool.
None of these cards trigger effects. This one will also go on each color once. Finally, we have the wild Dirt Dive card. When you play this card, discard cards on top of it without triggering effects until you have only 5 cards left in your hand. Talk about a catch-up mechanic. Okay, I know I said that was the last thing this episode, but in my research for this episode, I also found a couple more eliminations to throw in just cuz.
Okay.
And that's mostly thanks to this episode. Uno NFL Greatest Stars Tom Brady, and Uno Cricket Australia 2020. I thought I'd just list them now since we're on the topic of sports. I know that this episode has eliminated and added a lot of sports-themed Uno versions, but this absolutely does not mean that I'm done with sports in this series. The sports versions make up a good chunk of the lost media as well, so there may be a lot more sports versions to cover in the future. Anyway, let's check in on the progress this episode has made. I added 20 versions and eliminated another 20 versions. So that means 40 versions were covered in this episode, bringing the total Uno versions represented in the Amalgam to 601. Wow, we finally made it past the 600 mark. That means we only have between 50 and 60 Uno versions to go before the end of the combining portion of this project. Ring ring. Oh, hey, look at that. It's the Discord server calling me. Hello, the Discord server. How you doing? What's that? Are you serious? Okay, I'll be sure to tell them that. Thank you. Okay, so I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that the internet is a liar. The good news is that there are actually still at least 150 Uno versions for me to cover in future episodes. I suppose that could be interpreted as bad news as well. The good thing is, you will all be getting a few more Uno Amalgam episodes than expected, at the cost of the game taking a bit longer to combine, which I'm fine with as long as you are also fine with it.
Yeah.
A good chunk of those versions are lost media as well, so we may end up moving on without them. There will also definitely be some more eliminations as well, so don't be discouraged, we're still in the home. That did push the completion percentage back a bit though. We're just a hair over 80% done. I appreciate the patience you all have when it comes to the development of this project, and I'm glad you seem to be enjoying not only the big game concept, but also the informative historical side of this series. My amalgamates, if you want to see this project through to the end, hit that like button, leave that comment, subscribe please. Wait, where was I? Oh yes, the card count. 126 cards were added in this episode, mostly due to the new numbers. Once again, don't worry, I plan on optimizing the card count as much as I can at the end of this project. So the current total of 978 cards will most likely be less in the final release. It is once again thank you time.
That's actually crazy.
Generous
though.
donations
amount
from
of
awesome
cards.
people like you
Yeah,
genuinely
that's
do keep
actually
this
crazy.
channel. So a very special thank you goes out to
That
these
is-
amalgamation
wow.
donation members, including Ava CZ, Fallen Angel Viox, Radiant Diamond 3701, H2O Wizard, Rymac 1004, Elias Stenbach 5689, Splashy Flame, Quinton, Spiral of the Stars, Connor M78, Jamdrop 196,
Wow.
Sanix 900, and Omicromium. Once again, thank you all so much for your generosity. And now it is once again time to end the video. Thank you all so much for
Live.
watching. I really, really appreciate
Oh.
it. Like the video if you,
You're
in fact,
live.
liked the video. Dream of Uno tonight. And I'll meet you back here for the
It's
next
fine,
episode.
girl.
Bye!
I just needed some hangers.
It's okay.
Are those dirty clothes?
I don't know. They were just on my chair.
Okay.
So, probably not. Oh. Alright. Well, that was fun. How long was the other one? So it was a tiny bit less. That's cool, I guess. So thank you for staying for so long. Sorry, comments just randomly disappeared. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. There was actually one more thing. I did actually go ahead and do the rest of the Hizzy Right ones. So you already seen those. Yeah. So there you go. I like that there was only one crime in episode 6. But anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you like that Game of Life idea. I might make one more video today. No, I'm definitely gonna make another video today. And yeah. Thank you for watching my stuff. And guess I'll see you later. Bye.